Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, last class we completed a chapter that is about respiration. That chapter is completed, so today we will be starting with a new chapter that is cell cycle and cell division. So before going into cell cycle, we'll just look at what is a cell. So are all of you are familiar with the term cell, I guess. So cell it derives from a Latin word, okay, that is cella, which means room, small room. So cell it is means to make every whatever that is in your body, your nails, your hairs, your skin, your muscles, your bones, everything, your blood even. Okay, everything is made up of cell. So in animals and in plants, the cell are of different means it is of different structure. Structure of animal cell and structure of plant cell it is different. For plants, it is little bit different than that of animals. So since this is zoology, we will be looking at only the animal cell, not the plant cell. Okay, so uh, each and every thing in your body is made up of cell, and there are millions and millions of cells in your body. Okay, and every second some cells die and some cells again they grow. They means they grow. Okay, new cells grow, and the old cells they die. And that is the reason, the hair and the nails. So do you know what the reason behind the that you don't feel any kind of pain while you cut your nails and hair? What is the reason behind it? Why don't you feel any pain? Why don't you feel any pain like when you cut your hairs or when you cut your nails? Do you know the reason?
That
No,
shells,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Dead cell. And where does that dead cell come from? Yes, dead cells. Okay, that is right. Dead cells. But where do the dead cell come from? Okay, for some cells, what happens after they die? You have seen, I guess, that some skins, mostly in the winters, so some skins they come off, right? Those like rough your skin become rough and some comes off. So that is also a dead cell. That is a type of dead cell. And some of the dead cells that are produced in I told like every second cells die. Okay, and every second new cells are also born. So so all those cells which die, where do they go? So those cells which die, they form this what to say, hairs, nails. Okay, and they that is the reason why even though these cells are dead, they grow. Dead things don't grow. Why do you think the hairs grow? Why do you think the nails grow? That is the reason why they grow. Because the dead cells are produced in your body non-stop, every second. Okay, cells die every second. And same way, new cells are also born. It's the same phenomenon. Like people die every second, right? All over the world, all over the world. So people die every second. Just now, some people might be dying somewhere, right? And some people are some child, they are born also somewhere. So every second, people are dying, people are born. So same way, the cells are also every second they are dying, and also they are born. So all those dead cells, they go to these hairs and the nails. That is why even though these cells are dead, they grow because every second they are forming and they are collecting in the in the hairs and in the nails. So that's the reason you don't feel pain, and that is the reason why they grow. Okay, so those are cells. And even your blood there are cells, right? In the blood, in human blood, there are red blood cells there, which gives the red color. In the hemoglobin part, in the red blood cells, it gives a red color to the blood. Okay, that is the hemoglobin part of the red blood cells. And why the hemoglobin is red? Hemoglobin is red because of the presence of iron pigment. Okay, iron. Uh, you have banana flour. Have you seen banana flour? Eaten most of you, I guess. The flour of the banana. So
Yes, ma'am.
while cutting it, the hands becomes stained, all dirty. Why? Because iron is present in the banana flour. Okay, and same goes for the water which contains more iron in most in tube wells and all. When you take that water in your mouth, your teeth uh, tends to get dirty. Also, your nails and all those becomes dirty, blackish color. Okay, that is because of the iron present in it. Same way, the iron, which means iron, it it forms a like brownish stain. Okay, and that is the reason why the hemoglobin is red, because there are four heme molecules, and that is formed by iron. Okay, main compound in the hemoglobin is iron. That is the reason why hemoglobin is red and the blood is red in color. So blood, it in the blood also there are cells. There is red blood cells are there, which are red in color. Then white blood cells are there, which help your body against all those antibodies and stuff against diseases, which fights against diseases. All those antibodies and everything from those white blood cells. And the last part is the platelets. So the main function of platelets is, we will get to know about blood in details in another chapter, but I'm just giving a brief overview. So the platelets, what's the function of platelets? Function of platelets is, when there is a cut in your body, the blood doesn't flow continuously, right? It stops at a certain time. It stops. So that is known as clotting. So blood clotting is due to the platelets present in the blood. Without the platelets, blood will not clot, and even from a small cut, you'll die because all the blood will flow out. Okay. So, like in the blood also there are cells. All around the body there are cells. Okay, just wait a second. Okay, so plant cell and animal cell are different. Now we will look at animal cell. Okay, so the cell is also known as, here you can see, the cell is also known as the smallest unit of life, because it is the smallest thing which which is life, which is not means dead. It is a living thing. So it is known as the smallest unit of life, and it is where from that cell, what to say, life begins. Means when in the zygote form, in the when like the zygote is formed, there is the sperm and the egg. Sperm is one single cell, and egg is one single cell, right? Single one cell. So they form and produce a whole human being. So it is the smallest unit of life, and also known as building blocks of life or whatever. This is a bookish definition. Okay, so this is a cell, and this is the structure of a cell. Just look at the diagram. Yeah, this is the structure of a cell. This chapter is not about cell. Okay, this is about cell cycle. But in order to know about cell cycle, you need to know a little bit about the cell. For those who don't know Uh, about cell, you have got in your like 4 5 6 4 5 class only. But still, just to refresh your memory, so this is a structure of a cell. And okay, this is the structure of a cell. So this is the cell membrane. Membrane means it is the covering of a cell. Okay, it is the covering of a cell. And this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. It is like, it is whole, complete, round. Okay, it is shown as this portion is cut so that we can see the whatever is present inside. So this is the nucleus, where there is DNA, and there is chromosome. Okay, in cell cycle you will need about DNA and chromosome and nucleus and cytoplasm. This is the things you will need in cell division, in cell cycle. What happens? Okay, so these are the cell organelles. Mitochondria is there. Mitochondrion is given because it is a singular form. Okay, otherwise mitochondria. Mitochondria is there. Then this nucleus is there. Then endoplasmic reticulum is there. Lysosome is there. Then this Golgi bodies are there. Then this dots, and above this endoplasmic reticulum also there are minute dots. Those are the ribosomes. Okay, this is the mitochondria. Okay, so these are the cell organelles. Many other cell organelles also are also there. Like there is vacuole, the empty space inside the cell. That also is a cell organelle, and that is not shown here now, but these are the main important cell organelles present inside the cell. Cell organelles means whatever structure, whatever thing that is present inside the cell, it is known as cell organelle. Okay, so mitochondria is a cell organelle. So when someone asks you what is mitochondria, don't directly give that bookish answer like mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. So you can include that, but you can also include that mitochondria is a cell organelle, right? It produces. It is where energy is stored. If you say it like that, then the person asking you will know that you are not uh, memorizing something and just coming and telling it. Okay. So the main thing that will be required in cell cycle is the nucleus. The nucleus where DNA is present. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. So DNA is a hereditary material. Okay, hereditary material means it passes from your uh, parents to you, and from you it will be again transferred to your offsprings, to your children. Okay, later on, but your parents got it from your grandparents. So like that, it means it is hereditary. It passes from one generation to the other. Okay, that is DNA. So it is present inside the nucleus. There is mitochondrial DNA also, but that is not required now. So the DNA, it is present inside the nucleus, and this is the cytoplasm. Okay, inside the cell, whatever the empty spaces inside the cell, these are the cell organelles. These are cell organelles, right? These are the empty spaces. So empty spaces inside the cell is filled with a fluid material. Okay, a jelly like material that is known as cytoplasm. Remember that you will need it in cell division. Cell division means when cell divides. So this is cytoplasm. Just remember these. Cytoplasm, that is the fluid-like or jelly-like material that is found inside the cell. And the nucleus, also found inside the cell, the nucleus which contains the DNA. Okay, these are the main things that you will need. And cell membrane is the outer envelope of the cell, means outer covering of the cell. Okay, so other these endoplasmic, these are cell organelles which you will not need in this chapter, but just for your understanding. Okay, so this is the structure of an animal cell. Okay, now types of cell. There are two types of cell. Already I have once discussed, I guess, prokaryotic and eukaryotic while discussing aerobic anaerobic respiration. So there are two types of cells. One is prokaryotic and one is eukaryotic. Okay, for prokaryotic cells, they do not have a nucleus. Okay, prokaryotic cells, they do not have a nucleus and are single cell organisms, means unicellular organisms. Just remember that prokaryotic cells are always unicellular organisms and they do not contain nucleus. Okay, and next is eukaryotic cells. Examples, what are examples of prokaryotic cells? Which do not contain a nucleus and single cell organisms, means unicellular organisms. Algae, yeast we have discussed earlier. Yeast, earlier means last chapter. Yeast is there. Algae, paramecium, bacteria, all those are prokaryotic, single celled and do not contain a nucleus. Okay. Next is eukaryotic. So in eukaryotic, what happens? They have a nucleus. So this is a eukaryotic cell. Okay, since it has a nucleus. So in eukaryotic cell, nucleus is there, and the cell can either be single or multicellular. It can be either single celled or multicellular organism. Okay, those are known as eukaryotic. So human beings, they will be human beings will be eukaryotic. Okay, so they are multicellular. And most important thing is, uh, eukaryotic cells, they have a nucleus, and prokaryotic cells, they do not have a nucleus. Okay, and prokaryotic cells are always single cellular organisms, and eukaryotic, those are sometimes single cell and sometimes multicellular, sometimes unicellular and sometimes multicellular. Okay, so these are the types of cells. That is prokaryotic and eukaryotic. This is the structure of a cell. Okay, just remember cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus and DNA inside the nucleus. So these four you just need to remember to go to the means cell cycles and cell division, all those. Okay, so that was all about cell. So I hope you understood a little bit about the cell. What is a cell and what is the structure of a cell? What is a cytoplasm? What is cell membrane? What is nucleus and the types of cell? Okay. So now cell cycle. So cell cycle means, if you remember, I have mentioned like a few minutes ago that cells, they die each and every second. Okay, some cells die, some cells, they don't die. Okay, some cells die because that is a different thing, that is about checkpoints and all. If some cells are found to be faulty, okay, some cells, there something is faulty, so the checkpoints, they try to correct that faulty part. Okay, and if it cannot be corrected, then it dies. Okay, so there is one thing, that is cell cycle checkpoints. I guess you will get that in your higher classes, not now. Okay, that is cells, when they undergo like every stage of cell cycle. So there are checkpoints. Checkpoints means, you can take checkpoints as police check gates. No, checkpoints are there for police also. So when you go from like a district to another district, so you will pass the different police checkpoints, and they will see your, what to say, driving license and everything, and see whether you're uh, driving illegally or legally or whatever it is, and you have all the documents. So that if you have all the documents and if you have everything that is required, then you will be allowed to go forward. Otherwise you will be stopped there, you'll be your vehicle will be seized and everything like that, no? So same with the cell cycle also. So when the cell cycle, it goes through from one stage to another stage, this is the stages, we will get to that. So when it goes from one phase to another phase, in between there are checkpoints. Okay, just for your understanding, you don't need it now, but just for your understanding, remember. So it has checkpoints, same that of the police checkpoints we get in our roads. So there are checkpoints. So if the cell is completely healthy, it is completely doing fine, then the cell will be allowed to go to the next phase. Okay, if it is not doing fine, if it has something faulty, if it has some means mishappenings, something is wrong with the cell, then the checkpoint will try to correct it. Okay, correct the damage that is in the cell. Okay, and if it successfully means it is if it succeeds to like repair the damage, then the cell will it will allow the cell to go to the next phase. Okay, but if the checkpoint does not uh, means it cannot like repair the damage, then the cell will die. Okay, that is known as apoptosis or cell death. Okay, when the cell dies, those cells are also accumulated, and uh, and there are other certain reasons why a cell dies. Okay, about what to say, mm, I forgot the term. Let me see once. Okay, I forgot the term. Okay, telomeres are there. So shortening of telomeres and all those are also reasons why a cell dies. But now we will not talk about death, cell death. We'll not talk about cell death. We'll talk about the cell cycle. How, like from one cell, it forms two cells. Two cells will again form cell divides. Okay, so one cell will form two cells, then two cells will form like four cells. Four will form eight. Eight will form 16. Like that, it will divide. Okay, it will keep on dividing. That is the reason why you grow, because non-stop your cells are dividing. That is why from a small baby you are grown this big, right? Your fingers and your hands were so small earlier, but now it is big because the cell is continuously dividing and it will go on dividing. Okay, some part stops, some part of your body it stops. That's why you don't divide. But you can see the earlobes. Earlobes means, earlobes, ear that where they wear the earrings and all. So earlobes, that is known as the earlobes. For older people, if you see the earlobes, it is bigger. Have you noticed? For older people, the earlobes are bigger. For old means your grandparents and all, because the cells in the earlobes they continuously divide. They don't stop. Okay, but your other parts like your hand, your head, it doesn't divide continuously. If it divides continuously, then when you're old and when you're like a grandparent, your head would be this huge. It is not like that. So some part of your cell stop dividing. Some part of your body stops, cells in your body stops dividing, and some part goes on dividing. Okay. So we'll get back to topic. We are just deviating from the topic. Okay. So cell cycle, what is it? That the cell undergoes some changes, some phases. It has to go through some changes. So after that only it can divide itself into two cell. Okay, single cell, it has to go under certain changes, and then only it can divide itself into two cells. Okay, it can undergo division. So that is known as cell cycle or cell division. So cell cycle, this is the definition. Just you can note it down, or else I'll give in the what to say. I'll give in the notes. So the cell cycle, it is divided into two phases. Okay, two stages. That is, one is interphase and one is M phase. Okay, so this is the cell cycle. Cycle means it will be round. So this is the cell cycle. This is not a cell. Okay, this is a cell cycle. Whatever it goes through. So first stage is interphase. Interphase start from here. From here, it will go and go and go up to here. So this is interphase. Okay, here you can see this one. So this is interphase, and this is the M phase. Okay, this is M phase and this is interphase. Okay, so before going to cell division, before going to, so this chapter is about cell cycle and cell division, right? So before going to cell division, the cell needs to undergo this cycle first. Then only it can enter cell division, dividing process. Okay, before that it has to go undergo this interphase stage. So the first stage of cell cycle, it is interphase. The second stage, it is M phase. Okay, this big means like more than more than three-fourth of the portion it is interphase, and a little bit it is M phase, or it is known as mitosis also, or the M phase. Okay, so this is interphase. So in interphase, it is a time, what happens during this time, the cell, what happens, it prepares for division. Okay, during this interphase, the cell, it prepares for division by undergoing cell growth. Okay, cell growth also happens, and there is DNA replication happens. DNA replication is there, and then it prepares itself for mitosis, that is cell division. Okay, so the interphase stage is all is it is the first stage. Okay, and it is a time during which the cell prepares for division. Okay, so the interphase stage, it is divided into three phases. Okay, interphase is also further divided into three phases. That is G1, known as gap 1. Gap 1, short form is G1. And there is synthesis phase, short form is S phase. And there is gap 2 phase, that is G2 phase, short form. You can write short form also, but just remember what is the full term, what is the meaning. So first is G1 phase. The cell first enters the G1 phase, that is a part of interphase. So in G1 phase, what happens? You can see cell growth, right? So in G1 phase, the cell, it grows. Okay, the G1 phase, it is the cell. It is where the cell grows, and uh, then in this G1 phase, the cell, it grows, and then it it prepares itself to go into S phase. Okay, in G1 phase, just remember, where does cell growth take place? The cell growth, it takes place in the G1 phase, and in G1 phase, it prepares for going into S phase, that is the synthesis phase. So in the synthesis phase, what happens? DNA synthesis occurs. Okay, DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA synthesis and DNA replication occurs. Replication means dividing of the DNA, division of the DNA. Okay, same way for DNA also, one DNA will become two DNA, like that, no? And that we'll get to know about in chromosomes and stuff. In DNA, it is double helical. Two strands are there. Then two strands which will separate and form like one and one. So all those replication, then from these two strands again, two DNAs will be formed, like two strands. So like that for cells and for DNA, same thing. For DNA also, from one DNA, two will be formed, from two, four will be formed, like that. So in S phase, DNA division takes place. That is, DNA division is known as DNA replication. Okay, so in S phase, DNA replication takes place. And the next phase is G2 phase. So in G2 phase, what happens? The proteins are synthesized. After DNA replication, proteins that are needed in your body, so those proteins are synthesized. Okay, so in G2 phase, proteins are synthesized, and then they prepares the cell to go into cell division. Okay. So G1 phase, it is cell growth take place, and then it prepares the cell to go into S phase. In S phase, what happens? DNA synthesis and DNA replication, that is DNA division, takes place, and then it comes into G2 phase. In G2 phase, the proteins are synthesized, and then they prepare the cell for going into the mitosis phase, or the M phase. Here you can see preparation for mitosis, right? So G2 phase, it prepares for going into mitosis, and also proteins are synthesized in this phase. Okay, so these are the three phases for interphase. Interphase, these are the three stages of interphase. Okay, and then comes the M phase. M phase, that is the also known as mitosis phase, and this is the part where cell divides, cell division takes place. Okay, so the M phase, it is also divided into two stages, that is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. One is karyokinesis and one is cytokinesis. Okay, so this is the cytokinesis part. You can see here cytokinesis part, and this part is the karyokinesis. Okay, this part is the karyokinesis, and this small part is the cytokinesis. So M phase is divided into two phases, that is karyokinesis, this part, and cytokinesis. So karyokinesis, this term comes from karyon. Okay, so we have already learned about interphase, now about M phase. So karyokinesis, what happens? This karyo or karyon, okay, Karyon. Karyon means nucleus. Okay, remember it. Karyon means nucleus. So in karyokinesis, nucleus divides, which means in this karyokinesis, the nucleus will divide. Okay, and in cytokinesis means division of cytoplasm. In the name itself, it is there, cyto, right? So in karyokinesis, the nucleus will divide, and in cytokinesis, the cytoplasm will divide. Okay, ultimately the cell will divide. Okay, so uh, in cell division, that is mitosis phase or M phase, it is divided into karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Okay, so karyokinesis, it is the step where the nucleus divides. It is written here, nucleus divides. Okay, and when nucleus is a plural form. Okay, nuclei is a nucleus is a singular form. Nuclei is a plural form. Okay, plural of nucleus is nuclei. So when the nucleus will divide, they will form two daughter nuclei. Means two nuclei will be formed. And the karyokinesis, here you can see itself, the karyokinesis is also divided into four phases. It is not tough if you think like there are many stages and all, it is tough. But I suggest you make a flow diagram. Okay, like cell cycle. Then you make interphase. One is interphase, one is M phase. Then from interphase, it will be divided into G1, G2, S. And for M phase, it will be karyokinesis, cytokinesis. And karyokinesis is again divided into what? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. For karyokinesis, cytokinesis is not divided. Okay, these are the parts. We will have to look into prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, each one individually. Okay, so karyokinesis, it is divided into four stages. Karyokinesis is the stage where the nucleus divides, and karyokinesis, it is divided into four stages. That is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Prophase is the first, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. What happens in G1? Cell first starts into G1, then S phase, then G2 phase, then comes to prophase, then metaphase, then anaphase, telophase, then cytokinesis. It is completed. Cell cycle is completed. Okay, new cell is formed. Again, the new cell will again go to G1. So like that, it will go on and on and on. Okay. So I think we will continue the next in the next class. But if you have any doubts, just ask, and all give the everyone just give your attendance in the chat box. Okay, please give your attendance in the chat box. Those who have not yet, don't give multiple times, only once. And if there is any doubts, you kindly ask. I hope everyone has given the attendance. Yes. Do you listen while I discuss?
Yes, ma'am.
Or you
Yes,
keep your
ma'am.
phone somewhere and you just disappear? Hmm? No, if you do that, then I don't have any problem. But do let me know, because I will not spend my energy explaining. I'll just read from the what to say. PPT. Okay, so I guess all of you have given your attendance. Okay, okay then.